Hello, hello, hello. It is Saturday. I am so excited to be here. We have Nathalie with us. We are going to be talking all about how to unlock your potential. This is going to be so much fun. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sabrina Victoria. I am the host here at her talk show. Listen, if you have not already subscribed, you need to hit that subscribe button. These podcasts are guaranteed to have you thinking differently about life. Let's jump right in.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
Hello, if you're listening live, welcome. I love it when so many people jump on live right away. If you're listening on the replay, we love you too. Make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can drop you some love in the comments. We have had over 500 women grace this stage. We are adding another one to the list today. We have Nathalie, 2021 Canadian Presenter of the Year. Nathalie is a confidence expert. She is international. She's an international best-selling author of 18 books, including 12 #1 bestsellers and a book co-written with Kevin Harrington from the Shark Tank, endorsed by Tony Robbins. She is the founder and CEO of the Think Yourself Academy, offering keynotes and trainings, leading edge online courses, laser-focused business strategy, and one-on-one transformation coaching. Listen, this podcast is going to be freaking amazing. So excited to have you here, Nathalie. Welcome.
Sabrina, what an intro. Thank you. I'm excited. I have been looking forward to this, and I can't wait to share your energy. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, lady. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down. You know, one of the things that I love about podcasting is just being able to learn and hear all the things. I always say,
Whoops, I feel like I've lost the feed for a second.
of life and all of the you are bringing a subject to I've never had it pause so many times. I could only hold space for so long.
I am not hearing. Okay, you're back now. You were completely frozen. I heard the intro and then everything was frozen. And I thought, I guess I'm just going to smile here. I thought I would maybe start a choreography or something. I thought, I'm not hearing anything. I'm not sure if it's my turn to say anything. Were you hearing me or?
No,
I was
talking the whole time, but then I lost. I'm like, I can't keep talking. So listen,
okay,
Nathalie,
we're back. It seems that we're back.
Yes. You are bringing the topic to us: unlock your full potential and turning off that panic button. What does this mean? What does this unlock your full potential? What does this mean? There are people in the realm that are not in personal development. They don't even know what this means.
Exactly. So I guess I like to give the analogy of a drawer. You are awesome. You're absolutely amazing. But sometimes it may happen that we're not at our best. Recent studies demonstrate that 85% of people lack of self-confidence in at least one area of their life. So what happens is that we feel like an imposter sometimes, or we are not really nice with the way we talk to ourselves. Like, we don't talk to people like that. You don't go and say, oh, you look terrible in these jeans. Oh, you're starting a business. It's never going to work. You're not good enough. Like, we don't say that to people, but we talk to ourselves like that. Or sometimes, let's say you're in the kitchen, you're thinking about the bills you have to pay, or problem that you had at work that day, or something going on. And then your daughter comes behind you and she says, "Hey, mommy." And you turn around and you go, "What?" And you're like, "Oh, that is not how I wanted to respond." And in front of your clients and your boss, you're smiley, but sometimes with your closed ones, you're not the nicest person. And you're like, who am I? Why am I not at my best? So that's unlocking your full potential, is being at your best because you have all the answers. You know, inside the drawer that you wanted to say, "Yes, sweetie, what can I do for you?" You know that you have the answers. You have everything you need. It's just that sometimes we're just not at our best or not very nice with ourselves. So that's what I mean with the unlocking your full potential, if that makes sense.
Totally agree with that. And one of the things that you just mentioned, which I would love to dive into, is this how we're talking to ourselves, right?
Mm.
We are our best friend. Everywhere we go, there we are. And this negative self-talk that can happen. I know that you speak on multiple stage around the area of how to turn that around. Can
Yeah.
you give us maybe some tangible tools that we
Yeah.
can maybe use if we're just starting out, if we're just jumping into this self-development
Yeah.
arena of how do we begin to turn off or to reframe that negative?
Exactly. So let's, before I give you a tool, let's understand what's going on in our head. So we have the logical mind, the unconscious mind. Logical mind can handle 5 to 9 things at once. That's cool. You can multitask. You can go grocery shopping at the same time you're in a meeting on your phone. You grab a can of soup on special with one hand. Keep your child that's 2 years old from falling off the cart with the other hand, and you still can see the guy at the corner checking out the girl in blue in the seafood department. You do all that at the same time, right? So we're multitasker. But 5 to 9 pieces of information is not that great. That's the logical mind. That's living at a logical level. When it's not that great, you're always feeling behind. You have your objective. Let's say you're an entrepreneur, you're building a business, you get up super early, you do your meditation, your affirmations in the morning, and then you still have to take your kids to school and sport, and then you have to do your exercise, and then you don't have time for this, and at the end of the day you're exhausted, so you do the bath and taking care of the kids, and after that Netflix with a bottle of wine sounds much better than the gym membership you haven't used in 3 months. So you feel like you're getting farther and farther away from your dream life.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to go, let's say, to New York City, but you're in an aircraft that's flying to Los Angeles. You can work as hard as you possibly can, but you're never going to get there if you don't get off that aircraft. So that's what I mean with the other part of the brain, the unconscious mind. So I say, don't get off the aircraft, because it's like getting off your brain. You can't, you only have one, and it's better you stay in that body because that's the one you got. So you can't get off the aircraft, but you can talk to the pilot and say, "Hey, Miss Pilot, do you mind turning around? That's where I want to go." Imagine how fast it's going to go when the pilot is on board and just turns the aircraft around. That's the other part of the brain. That's the most powerful and complex structure in the universe, your subconscious, your unconscious mind. That part can handle 2.3 million pieces of information every second. The logical mind is 5 to 9. Unconscious mind, 2.3 million pieces of information every second. That's where the power is. I call this your personal assistant. So we all have this personal assistant in our head. Their job is to make us right about what we think and what we say. So picture your personal assistant with a notepad writing down everything that you say or think and makes it happen. The problem is, Sabrina, people wake up in the morning, they look at themselves in the mirror and they say, "I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out. I think I'm gaining weight." So then your personal assistant writes it down. Tired, stressed out, gaining weight. Okay, tired. Oh, I'm going to keep her awake all night. She's not going to be able to sleep. She's going to be really tired in the morning. Check. Stressed out. Oh, I'm going to make her delete a super important appointment in her calendar. That's going to be stressful. Check. Gaining weight. Oh, easy. I can find a chocolate bar or some French fries, something today, whatever. Check. So your personal assistant is listening to everything you say or think, and it makes it happen. So the tool that I will help you with today, that I will give you, is how you can talk to this personal assistant to tell your personal assistant what you want and not what you don't want. Because it always matters what what story plays in your head. And personally, I live that, I experienced it. And that's when I started studying neuroscience, when I realized this. See, I was just, I was a fitness instructor, moving from Quebec City, a French speaking province on the east coast of Canada, to Toronto, big city. So you must, I'm sure you've been in that situation once before, where you were new, that you didn't know anybody, you had no friends, everybody's so much better than you, and you're super insecure. So that was me. So picture yourself, you're begging your boss from pulling your classes from the schedule because there's only 2 people that come to your classes. So how do you go from that to becoming Fitness Instructor of the Year for Canada less than a year later? So I'll tell you what happened. The gym was introducing a dance program, and I had 10 years of experience in dance. So I thought, okay, I'm confident with this. I'll put my hand up to be part of the demo team. So picture yourself, you're on stage, there's 150 fitness instructor in front of you, much better than you do. You're super intimidated, but you're giving it. And you know you got it because you see all the faces looking at you with a shocked look on their face. And you're like, oh, I got it. So I don't know what impact it would have for you, but for me, it changed my life. I started to become really confident. I was strutting around in the gym. I could hear people whisper when I would come in the gym, putting my hand up to become team leader. My classes became packed. I became the queen of the gym. So a few months later, somebody corners me in the change room and says, Nathalie, I have to tell you, we really started respecting you after what happened to you on that day. You were acting like it did not bother you at all. And I was like, what? What was she talking about? It turns out, Sabrina, that I had a wardrobe malfunction on that day. Boing! My boob had been sticking out the whole time. That's why people were looking at me with a shocked look on their face. Of course, when she told me that, I was wanting to disappear, but only for a few seconds, because it was too late. I was already the queen of the gym because I was responding to a different story in my head. And that's when I started to study neuroscience. That's when I started to study the brain and try to figure out a system to create positive stories in my head, no matter what is really happening, so that it could serve me instead. Like, one of the most horrific experiences of my life could have ended me right there. And instead, it propulsed me because I was responding to different stories. So I created a system to transform those negative self-talks. And that's the system I shared in all my books, on stages around the world, and in my one-on-one coaching. So long-winded, and I will take a pause here to see if you have another side question before I give you the tool that you asked for. Oh, I can't hear you. I'm not sure.
Fantastic story. I definitely was not expecting that at all. But no, I would love to hear the tool.
Okay, good. So you want your personal assistant to listen to a different story. You want to give different orders to your personal assistant because your personal assistant is going to do what you want. And very often we tell our personal assistant what we don't want. My clients hire me and this, Nathalie, I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want to be impatient with my kids, and I don't want to be broke. Okay, personal assistant hears that. Stress, rush, impatient, broke. So we have to say what we want, not what we don't want. Let's say, I'll take an example because we all know somebody that wants to lose weight. So let's take this example. For example, somebody wants to lose weight. They've been saying over and over to their personal assistant that they hate exercise. It's awful. Or they say, oh, I'm weak, I'm fat. Oh, and when I lose weight, I always gain it back. So this is all on the list of the personal assistant. So what happens if they start exercising? If they start maybe making good decisions as far as what they eat, they start actually enjoying it, and they start feeling strong, and they maybe start to lose weight. So the personal assistant panics and says, oh my gosh, I'm not doing my job. She said she wanted to be overweight, and now she's losing weight. She said she wanted to hate it, and now she's loving it, and she wanted to be weak, and now she's getting strong. I'm not doing my job. What should I do? Oh, I know, I'm going to make her fall on the sidewalk. She's going to hurt herself. So now she's not going to be able to train anymore. And she's going to stop losing weight. She's going to start gaining it back. Whew, check. I've done my job. So we have to say what we want and not what we don't want. It's like if you hire a painter to paint your kitchen and you say, I would like you to paint my kitchen not blue. Well, not blue is like, what color do you want your kitchen? So we have to say what we want to our personal assistant. So here's a super 2-step technique, very easy. So first step, you hear something that you don't want to hear in your head. You hear, oh, I'm so stressed out. First step is to repeat it in the past. Why do I say that? Because you've heard of affirmations. It's very popular in Canada. Lots of people do affirmations. Affirmations don't work if you don't believe them. Too often, there's way too big of a gap between the reality and the affirmations. So let's say that I work with the Think Yourself Wealthy programs, that with people that are in deep financial struggles. It's not going to work if I say, okay, smile in the mirror and say, I am rich. Or people that need to lose 200 pounds. And I'm not going to say, put your hands on your hips and say, I am thin. It's too far. I work with a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs and managers. And one of my clients called me because I'm on speed dial for a lot of CEOs. So calls me, his associate tried to discredit him in front of the national board, and he was about to lose his business, a multi-million-dollar business that he had built for the last 15 years, and his associate was backstabbing him. Do you think he could say, okay, repeat after me, I am calm? No, he was not calm. I mean, this is not how it works. So first step is you repeat what you just heard in the past. So you say, oh, I'm so stressed all the time. And then you're like, oh, no, I was watching her talk show with Sabrina, and then she had this guest that told us about the personal assistant, and now I just told my personal assistant I would be stressed out. So no, scratch that. I don't want you to write this. So then you say, I used to be stressed out all the time. So your personal assistant hears that, stressed out. And now it says, yes, I have this on my list right here. You're talking to me. I'm paying attention. Great. So what do you want me to do with this? Why are we talking about this in the past? Are we done with this? Or am I scratching this off or what? Because if you say to your personal assistant, I am calm, your personal assistant's going to be, no, we're not. I'm not writing this down. We must be watching a vampire movie. Vampires don't exist. That's not for me. I'm not listening. So if you say, in the past, I used to be stressed out all the time. That's the first step. You hear yourself say, I'm so bad with technology. I used to be bad with technology. I used to think that I was bad with technology. So you say it in the past. Now your personal assistant is listening and saying, why are we talking about this in the past? Are we done with this or what? So now it's time for step number 2, a progressive statement. A progressive statement starts with, I am willing to learn, or I'm in the process of. So I used to be stressed out all the time. Now I'm willing to learn how to change that. Now I'm in the process of saying no. I'm in the process of putting myself first. I'm learning how to being more calm. So you talk about it in the past, step 1, and then you use the 2-step technique. And the second step is the progressive statement. I'm willing to learn how to change that. So this one is kind of generic. I'm willing to learn how to change that. It kind of works with everything. If you're not sure how to phrase it, you can always use the how to change that. So now you're telling your personal assistant what you want instead of being stressed out. So now you're writing the right orders for your unconscious mind to deliver on what you say and what you think. Does that make sense?
Yes, it definitely makes sense. And I'm going to hijack this for a moment.
Sure.
And totally just throw my own story into this. So I told you right before we got online that I have a TEDx talk coming up November 4th. And I kind of want to play devil's advocate like with this, because I know I'm not the only one that's dealing with this weird thought that I'm having of, I know, like, I'm a coach. I know that I'm not supposed to go around being like, I might freeze on stage. I might forget my script. I might, there's like things that are going through my head of like, this shit could actually happen. So there's a part of me that says, yes, Nathalie, I get it. 100%. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to do so good. I'm confident. I'm going to go on. And then this is so helpful for me, 100%. But then there's also a part of me that is almost reserved. And I want to talk about this with you. There's a part of me while you're talking to me that I have on the reserve of, I need to be realistic.
Yeah.
So I need to like, yeah, Sabrina, say all the affirmations and go show up and be confident.
But that
But like,
affirmations doesn't work if you don't believe it. If you roll your eyes and you're like, no, then
what do I do about
affirmations don't work. So
What do
that's
I
why you
do?
use the 2-step technique. But I have if we're going a little bit deeper, so let's talk about the DNA system, the system that I created. So what happens is that there's 3 steps to reach an objective. Let's say the first step, everybody knows it. So the step of my first one of my DNA system, the D is for desire. So you want to know what you want. So then in your case, you want to be eloquent. You want to be funny. You want to remember everything. You want your body to respond well. You want to nail it. You want to be absolutely phenomenal out there, and you want to feel great, right? So you write down your desire. So you make your list, SMART goals, vision board. Like a lot of people know this first step and do that. They say everything that they want. You envision yourself doing it. Now, this is the first step. It's very necessary. You need to know what you want. So visualize everything that you want, not what you don't want, but what you want. So don't say, I want my kitchen not blue. Just say, what color do you want it? So you envision. So first step, very important. Everybody does that. It's like a kitchen renovation. You'll make a folder with samples of what you want in your kitchen. So you want these cupboards, this countertop, this hardwood floor, this backsplash. You will put paint chip of the colors you will want on the wall, all of this. That is your map. It's your plan. It's what you want, but it's not a kitchen. It's a folder with samples. You cannot cook in this folder. It's just a folder. You cannot invite anybody in this folder. It's not a kitchen. So you need a kitchen in order to invite people in it. So what people do now is they try to implement all these wishes in their life. So they try to implement good habits. You will practice, right? Your TEDx talk. You will do the promotion, the marketing of it. You will practice standing it up out loud with somebody. You'll film yourself. You'll look at yourself. You'll do all the things to implement this wish into your life. But this is step 3. It's A for actualization. You're actualizing your desire. So DNA. So that's the third step. That's the problem. Everybody moves too quick to step number 3. It's like trying to put your cupboards over top of the existing cupboards, or you try to put the island over top of the existing island in the kitchen. It's not going to work because you need step 2. Step 2 is to gut out the old kitchen. You need to remove all the stuff that's using room in your kitchen. So you need to remove negative self-talk, limiting belief, anger, fear, hurt, sadness, guilt, all the bad habits and the things that may be holding you back. So we need to disconnect all these limiting beliefs that make you roll your eyes when you say, well, you know what? Of course, I want to be positive and say it's going to be awesome. But if you have a limiting belief somehow that when you get nervous, you may forget. And it's a limiting belief that if it happened to you when you were a child at 12 years old in front of your class, this is still there playing in the back of your head. So we need to get rid of the old kitchen. That's the N for new you. And that's what I do. That's what I specialize in, the second step. Not a lot of people do that. So we need to get rid of everything that's holding us back before we can actualize and implement and do all the practices, everything that we want to, because you know what to do. You just have to practice. You just have to be there. But if there's still that doubt in your head, this or sometimes it's an emotion. In this case, it could potentially be fear. Like or just Sometimes it's a discomfort. It's something new. Our brain is hardwired to not like change. So if it's nothing that you've done before, if it's new, obviously we are uncomfortable, because the brain creates, from the neurons, the little dendrites connect, it creates some synapse, and the brain is really comfortable once the synapses are created. But until then, when it's just trying on things and creating new neural pathway, the brain does not like that. It likes generalization. It likes patterns. When something happens, I know what to do with this. It likes it when it knows what to do. But when it's uncertain, the brain doesn't like it. It's perfectly normal. We are normal for experiencing anger, fear, hurt, sadness, guilt. It is perfectly, perfectly normal. It's like there's a truck in your driveway with a package to deliver. That's what these emotions are. And they last 30 to 90 seconds. That's the beauty of an emotional loop. It lasts 30 to 90 seconds. That's how long it takes to make a delivery. The only reason why we experience these powerful events is because we have something to learn to get to the next level of our life. So how do you deal with this emotion? How do you exit the loop? Because children exit the loop very fast. You've seen that in children. They're super happy. And then it's temper tantrum. And then, 90 seconds later, they're happy again, because they exit the loop. As we age, we don't exit the loop. You stay angry, but you smile. No, everything is good. Oh yeah, I'm fine. And you're in front of your colleagues or your clients. Oh yeah, I'm awesome. I'm amazing. Oh yeah. And then your kids, are you okay, mommy? Mommy is fine. Yes, of course. Everything is great. The problem is we don't exit the loop because we are ignoring the truck in the driveway. We don't get the package. So we want to make sure to open the door. And how do we do that? We ask ourselves, what am I learning? Wow. Instead of the brain doesn't know the difference between anxiety and excitement. So if you feel this anxiety, just say, oh, I have to be curious and excited instead. In the prefrontal cortex, your brain will not know. But if you decide that it's anxiety, you will shoot 1,400 chemicals through your bloodstream and pollute yourself. And we're not very resourceful when we're filled with cortisol. But if you send a feel-good chemical instead, then you can become more resourceful. And you do this by being curious and enthusiast and say, oh, I'm receiving a package. I'm not liking this. You're allowed your 30 to 90 seconds of temper tantrum, let's say, like the children, and say, oh, I'm not liking this. I'm nervous. I don't know what. Okay, wait. It means that I'm growing. It means that I'm getting the experience of having this done. Let's say it was your 7th TED Talk. More likely you would feel much better about it. And that's what happens with, so make the story in your head. You've done other similar things before.
Yeah.
You are live all the time. You're pro at this. You know exactly what to do. So we need to get rid of these limiting beliefs that potentially this was any different, because you can do whatever. Your brain can handle 2.3 million pieces of information every second. It's astonishing the power that we have. So trust your personal assistant and be enthusiast, because when you're enthusiast, you will get oxytocin or dopamine or serotonin, or there's different feel-good chemicals you can generate in order to, and in this case, I'll tell you which one will be the best. It's dopamine in the form of checking boxes. So make a list of all the things that need to be done for your TEDx talk. Break it down in even smaller, different tasks, and check boxes. Every time you check a box, you get a shot of dopamine, and it drives you to the next stage and the next stage. That really, really helps sending some feel-good chemicals. And then you can say, okay, what am I learning? What am I going to become good at? You'll be becoming good at memorizing, because your life is live. You do a lot of live, of improv on the spot. And in the case of a TEDx talk, the element that it is different is the memorization part.
That's the thing.
That's different.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're not intelligent. You are a pretty darn smart woman, and badass if you add on. So you got this. You can memorize it, and you can do the work that needs to be done, and you will. It's just that it's new. It's okay that it's different. But use that 2-step technique. It used to stress me out. And now I'm willing to learn how it feels to be able to memorize something and make the First, you have to memorize your intro. Then you're going to memorize the second piece. You break it down in different chunk and then do just this one. Record yourself. Listen to it as you do grocery shopping. Go for a walk and then listen to it over and over and over. Because I'm sure you know at least 5 songs, the lyrics of 5 songs by heart. You can sing them in your heart. You have memorized these 5 songs because you've listened to them so many times. But you didn't know that 5 songs is the equivalent of a TEDx talk. It's about the same length. So if you can memorize 5 songs and you know the lyrics to 5 songs, you can memorize a TEDx. You just do whatever works for you for memorization. There's tons of tricks out there. As long as we get rid of step 2, what is the old stuff in the kitchen that needs to go out? Understanding that, hey, wait a minute, it's just a matter of understanding what is in the way and get rid of it. Use the 2-step technique. Of course, there's deep trauma. I work with Army veterans. I work with people that have been abused, people that had airplane crash or car accident or heavy stuff, heavy trauma, PTSD. Sometimes it takes more than the 2-step technique to get rid of something. And that's what I do. At least with this 2-step technique, you can get a good start with the process.
Yeah. Wow. Very awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for all of that information. And yeah, the whole thing is just the memorization. I've been on stage plenty of times but it's my info. I have a cheat sheet. I have bullet points. I'm working off of something I can glance. So yeah, that's what's really freaking me out is the,
it used to freak you out.
Used to freak me out. Thank you. I
And
just
now
stopped myself.
you're willing. You caught it. You caught it. Yes.
Yeah, I just stopped myself. I love this though. I think this is great. And I appreciate you allowing me to bring up my own situation because I know I'm not the only one, right? We're all dealing with new things that we're stepping into new adventures. We're stepping into new challenges that are helping us expand, right? Helping us grow and helping us evolve as a person. And it's new. And, it can be intimidating sometimes. One of the things that I would love for you to talk about, I know that you work in the realm of bad habits.
Yes.
And I think this is such a good one because I know, especially working out, you're talking about the working out and New Year's resolutions, right? We're heading towards the end of the year and there's people that are putting things, they're thinking of things, they're going all in starting at this new year, but they have bad habits that they have adopted over the year or after a few years that they need to pivot out of. Can we talk for a little bit as we're closing up here? Give us maybe another story around bad habits. And
okay,
so what's a little something we can steal from you?
Absolutely. So see, guilty here, obviously. We all have negative self-talk. Research showed that 70% of our thoughts are negative. So 50 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Do the math. It's 45 thoughts per minute. 31 of them are negative. So, wow, we need to do something about that. And by using constantly that 2-step technique to say, hey, wait a minute, what did I just tell myself? When I started my business, I wanted to become a professional speaker. I'm French, so moved to Toronto, and then the voice in my head was telling me, what? You want to be a speaker like in English? You don't even speak English. You want to write books in English? It's never going to work. You're not good enough. So I was hearing this voice in my head telling me, what? Like, okay. The voice was right. I have to tell you about my English back then. Really bad. I remember teaching a yoga class. Everybody's laying down, at the end during the relaxation. I wanted them to relax their body, relax their face, and to relax their jaw. I wanted them to put their tongue on the roof of their mouth. Instead of saying, put your tongue behind your teeth, I said, put your thong behind your tits. And then everybody started laughing. I didn't even know what I had said wrong. Anyway, my English was really bad. So obviously, if this small town girl here speaking French became an international renowned speaker, and I've written 18 books in English. Wow. Everything is possible. Just saying everything is possible. So what happens is with a bad habit, I used to be addicted to donuts. Yeah, guilty. And I was teaching fitness. I've been teaching fitness for 35 years. So I'm still teaching on the side. That's not my career anymore, because I'm doing more speaking and coaching. But I still teach a few classes every week because I want to stay fit. Now, back then, I owned a business. We had about 100 staff. So I would stop on my way to work in the morning to Dunkin' Donuts and buy 3 or 4 dozens for the staff, right? For the staff room. So I could eat probably 3 on my way to work for breakfast. Yeah, beautiful. So it was embarrassing because I would show up to work and the box were missing some donuts. So I changed my strategy. I started to buy 3 donuts on the side for me. So then I would get to work with the box that were intact. So people would ask, "Oh, Nathalie, you're not eating any?" I'd be like, "Oh no, I'm a fitness instructor." Like, so much shame, so much shame. I was lying about it. So I thought, okay, I need to change my strategy. I'm going to put the donuts in the trunk of my car. And I'm not even going to buy the little bag on the side. So it didn't work. I had to stop on the side of the highway on a snow day to go get the donuts from the trunk. I mean, it just didn't work until I realized that I had this limiting belief. I'm addicted to donuts, or I am a smoker. So that is at identity level. So you have to identify where the problem is. Where did the habit happen? So is it because I've helped smokers? I've helped people get rid of different bad habits, and we need to see where it originates. And very often people, let's say for exercise, if you eat well and you exercise, these are behaviors. That's the bottom of the pyramid. Oh, I wonder, I think I have it right here. That would help if I showed you a visual. This is the DNA system. It's based on the work of the 6 layers of a person's self of Robert Dilt. So at the bottom, you have the environment. So that's where you are. That's if you're trying to lose weight, maybe it's the donuts in your cupboards, in my car for me, right? The environment is also the people around you. The behaviors are the things that you do. So exercise and nutrition is here. Then there's skills. You become good at something. It's not just a behavior like eating and moving. Then there's the beliefs. This one we cannot see very well because my green screen and this layer is green. So that's what's going on. So beliefs and value, it's what's important to you and what you believe. So all these limiting beliefs, when you lose weight, you always gain it back, or things like that. Then the identity is the I am. That's where I am weak. I am not good enough. And the last level is the purpose. So once everything is aligned and you live in an environment that supports you, with people around you that support you, you do behavior that you're good at it, you're following your values, what's important to you, and your beliefs are serving you, and you are loving yourself. I am awesome. That's when you can reach life purpose. Why are you here? Who else are you serving really in this world? The problem is a lot of people address a bad habit here with a behavior. They're a smoker, so they try to quit smoking. But the reason why they are smoking is maybe when they were teenagers, they wanted to belong. So they felt like they were not good enough. So they have a problem here at identity. I am not good enough. I need to smoke to be cool. So then I'm going to start this behavior. So the problem is here, not here. And if you believe I am not good enough, it's not going to fix it by buying designer shoes or a big truck or a big house. You can't fix with an environment solution a problem that's happening at identity. And if you have a belief that when you lose weight, you always get it back, it's not going to work to try to fix it by a behavior, by exercising and eating well. You have to fix the problem where it belongs. That's what I do. I work with the 6 layers of a person's self through the DNA system in order to make transformational changes and permanent, as opposed to just try to change a bad habit by changing the behavior itself. You need to dig where does it originate. Like a smoker, he had almost quit smoking 2 packs a day to 1 cigarette. I didn't even help. I didn't know him back then. And then we started digging into why he was stuck with this 1 cigarette a day. He just couldn't quit. Every night he would have this 1 cigarette. We found that with few sessions, his father was a smoker. His father had passed away a year prior, and he had not accepted that his father had passed away. He missed his father. So this cigarette was his connection to his dad.
Wow.
So knowing the intention behind the behavior, where does that originate? Then he would know that when he would get his cigarette craving, all he had to do was open a photo album, look at pictures of his dad, and talk to him, whatever his belief was. So same for a client in San Francisco. She used to work in Toronto for Nestle, a chocolate company, and didn't even like chocolate back then. That was so weird. She worked for a chocolate company and she didn't like chocolate, whatever. We were laughing about that. So she moved to San Francisco and calls me one day, Nathalie, I'm eating Kit Kats every day. Help me. I don't know what's going on. I have this craving all the time. So she missed her friends from when she was working at Nestle in Toronto. That's why she wanted the chocolate. We need to find the intention behind the behavior. Where else in the brain, at which layer of the person's self is the problem happening? So when you identify that, that's what I do. We figure out and we get rid of it, and it's quick. So 4-session, 8-session. I don't see people for years and years. I'm not an accountability coach. My job is for my clients to not need me as soon as possible. So we figure out what's holding them back. We get rid of it, and we move on. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I so appreciate all of that information. We have a ton of people watching live right now. So obviously resonating with what you're saying. And thank you so much for being here, by the way. We love it when we have people watching live. Nathalie, I would love for you to tell everybody exactly what you do, which we're getting a really good idea. But who should be reaching out to you? You know, who in the audience should be contacting you? Who do you help?
So 2 different layers, let's say. So I help individuals who know they can do better, who they feel like there's something holding you back. They feel sometimes like an imposter. They have a disconnect between what they want, what they know. They know they can do it. They know they can do better, and they're just not doing it. And they know they should be doing something, and they're like, I don't know why. I know I'm capable. So that's the type of people that I can help. And on the second side, it's organizations. So I do a lot of staff training, a lot of keynotes for organizations. It's important that decisions that people make at work are worth thousands of dollars. So it's very important decisions are made with their experience, with their knowledge, and not with the stress of the change that's happening right now. Things are going really fast. And as fast as things are going right now, they'll never be this slow again. It's going to keep going faster because that's the world we live in. And very often we are not at our best. So I give lots of tools to employees, to managers, to different people in the organization, ways to be able to see clearly, and tools to slow down stress, to make sure that they are doing what's right, as opposed to be doing something that will come from anxiety or stress. And obviously stop going on stress leave and stop being insecure and putting the fault on somebody else. And so there's a lot of work that I do in organizations for that. And I do one-on-one also. So lots of one-on-one coaching for the main managers, let's say, in the organization. Because if they were backstabbed in a previous job, they're not trusting their team right now. And it's affecting the bottom line. Even if they're going through a divorce, it has nothing to do with their job, but it's affecting the bottom line. If they have a problem talking to their teenage daughter, it's affecting the bottom line. And the organization that understand that when they invest in their employees, for their employees to get rid of what's holding them back, they will get the 100% of the employee, and they'll be able to reach as a team a bigger potential. So either it's on a personal level or organizational level. That's what I do.
Beautiful. And where can people find you, website, and where do you hang out on social media?
Yes, so thinkyourself.com is my website. I'm happy to gift everybody a free 15-minute virtual coffee. So just have a chat and see if there's something I can help you with. I'll be happy. So thinkyourself.com/schedule. if you want. Happy to gift everybody a free virtual coffee. The social media, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So it's Nathalie P. Think Yourself, or Nathalie Plamondon-Thomas, or Think Yourself Academy. So you'll see, I think we have in the show notes, more likely underneath, we'll put all the links, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
100%. Well, this has been absolutely a delight. I so appreciate you being here, Nathalie. For those of you listening live or on the replay that resonate with Nathalie and all the goodness that she shared today, make sure you connect. Thinkyourself.com, and she's throwing in a free little coffee chat for those that would like to check her out. She hangs out predominantly on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Insta. So make sure you follow. We love to connect people here on this platform in order to make sure we all continue to rise. Nathalie, any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
Well, you're awesome. Everybody, you have a brain. They did some research on, people that go to the Olympics of the brain. It's a thing. There's such a thing as the Olympics of the brain. You have 200 images and names to memorize, or 2 shuffled deck of cards that you need to memorize the order in 1 minute. So people that win these games, they did some research on the winners, and they found out that their brain is average. Woohoo, good news for you and I, because more likely our brain is average too. So that's great news. So that means tons of potential. If you have a brain, you have limitless possibilities. And just on a personal note to you, Sabrina, you are awesome. I was really excited about meeting you, and I know that that you will totally nail your TEDx talk. It's going to be awesome. You got this.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being here. That brings us to an end of yet another incredible episode of Her Talk Show. Thank you, Nathalie, for sharing your wisdom and inspiring us all. To our dedicated listeners, thank you for staying with us into the very end. We appreciate you. Always remember to follow, like, and share. Once again, I am Sabrina Victoria, and I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation, where we continue to uplift others every step of the way. Until next time, do something awesome today. Much love.